Is Ghost of Tabor the best VR game officially? Now, and I mean officially, right? We've been doing some hours in Asgard's Wrath 2, which is completely fun. Now, when you have such immersive games, it is great for those that are veterans in VR. I think those for new to VR, especially if you are trying to adapt the settings to where there's no snap turn and all that, it can get a little woozy in there depending on how it goes. But Asgard's Wrath 2, I think, is very, very great. Would I put it as the best VR game? No. Now, Ghost of Tabor wins the VR game of the year. They don't win at the Steam VR awards, but they are still a really good game, and they're the only ones that are single-handedly like holding on to VR right now when it comes to just pure virtual reality, right? Virtual reality right now, I mean, which is weird. Apple Vision Pro is making noise, of course, but their spatial computing, they're not even deeming themselves to be any type of virtual reality. Virtual reality in totality, though, is very, very hard to really persuade people to jump in, especially with the mainstream essence. There's just no mainstream in it. It's very niche right now. And what Tabor is doing really good is that they are keeping it afloat by what they do for a standalone. Now, there are a lot of scenarios where VR is cool, right? PC VR, PC VR mods, flat screen to everything. All of that takes a lot of consumption to where the general consumer can't even fathom what is going on and what you're doing on your setup. And I'm a PC VR user, so it's like I do use all of them: PC VR, PSVR 2, and standalone Quest 3. And with that being said, Ghost of Tabor, in my opinion, is definitely the best VR game you can actually get into right now, just due to the simplicity. Now, the game is not simple, but the game actually has stuff to progress toward. Again, it's still technically in early access. They haven't really announced everything yet when it comes to the official release, but again, you can get it on App Lab, or you can get it on, like, it's just not quote unquote official yet. Now, it'll be soon, of course, but I think like Ghost of Tabor, at least up until this video, right? I know a lot of people come back to my old VR content, they're gonna be like, oh yeah, it's available now, or you don't need this and this. But yeah, at least currently right now, like, it's not in there. And so for me, I will always say that Ghost of Tabor, no matter what, if you're new to VR, if you're a veteran VR, I think Ghost of Tabor is always the route. It has PvE, it has PvP, it's like Escape from Tarkov. You get all these things where you can craft, you can do stuff. And then also it's the extraction part that kind of brings a battle royale feel without it being too aggressive as a battle royale. It's a lot slower than games like Contractor Showdown. And it's a game that where you do have to put in a lot of time. I wouldn't say it's somewhere where you can just jump in, but it's not as sweaty as like Population 1 and Contractor Showdown, like what I'm saying. And it's not necessarily an arena shooter. I think VR shooters, and I'm gonna make another video on this too, VR shooters are just completely played out already. Like, there's just too much of them, and it's not doing anything to advance the systematic approach to virtual reality. Virtual reality shooters are kind of just an approach that becomes a lot more, I wouldn't say copy and paste, but everybody's just kind of correlating the same ideas. And arena shooters, that's why Ghost of Tabor is flourishing, because they're just such a unique identity. And also VR doesn't really get that component, and I will continue this also, because they make knockoffs of everything. Like Population 1 is a knockoff Fortnite VR, Contractors is a knockoff Call of Duty, Ghost of Tabor is a knockoff Escape from Tarkov, X8 is a knockoff game of Valorant. So when you have all these quote unquote knockoff games, it gets hard to really, like what I did say this in my previous video too about the mainstream of VR. It's hard to really gain the credibility and the respect for people to want to watch this. I myself, as a VR creator, consumer, player, I understand why it's so niche. And then we also had a huge VR wars not too long ago about like Asgard's Wrath, and then also about, not we as in me, but like I was watching all over the internet, and it was like on Twitter with PSVR 2 versus Quest 3. It's like, yo, we don't even have a big enough audience yet for people to be arguing back and forth. So that kind of just, all this stuff hinders the growth of VR. And on top of that, we really have favored way more gaming as of now in virtual reality. Now, features, of course, I can't wait for them, because PSVR 2 is one of the most mainstream VR headsets, at least when it comes to gaming, aside from Apple Vision Pro being what they're gonna be, which is a juggernaut for a lot of money, respectfully so. And They are a little bit more mainstream side, but Quest 3 being far more just vastly gaming. And PC VR, if you want to do more features, again, that it's already a step to put on a headset. And so it's another step to actually get into PC VR. And then it's also another step in money. It's another step in everything. So it is so hard to find this balance with like a general consumer of virtual reality. So I think that's why Ghost of Tabor does the best with it, because they are really proving the notion of a simplistic, it doesn't have the best graphics, again, still technically early access or beta format, and they prove that you can still have a simple approach but also a in-depth approach. And their trailers are off the charts. Like they do great marketing, they do everything. First of all, that's a huge reason why they are leading everything, man. Ghost of Tabor is leading everything because they have massive marketing, and they are doing great with their trailer, their design, their production. They are putting their heart and soul into it, even if it doesn't even look amazing in Quest when you're comparing a Quest to a PC, which I never do, which is a stupid comparison. They're always going to be way different. That's unless like Quest completely catches up overnight, but that's not gonna happen. Like, we're still very new. We're on the 3rd iteration of a Quest, and we're still very far away from any type of PC VR usage, like to look like it in comparison, to even try to compare that experience. But we can't compare the simplistic approach and the depth approach, the effort approach, and just the approach in which games like Ghost of Tabor can flourish. I believe the next game that will flourish on this also is Contractor Showdown, because they are just phenomenal at what they do. I know them personally, and I know they're going to deliver the right approach. That's going to be far more of a credible esports game though, and which to me doesn't make it very much. It'll be Warzone in VR. And so again, like another knockoff approach of what people would deem it as. Not me. I don't hate on it. I love that. But yeah, these are kind of approaches into where people are gonna be like, oh, I could just play a flat screen then. This is just a Warzone knockoff. This is it. And I get these in the comments all day too. So it kind of just is like, well, there's a reason why VR is not doing what it possibly should be doing, at least. But as much as we want VR to be, I wouldn't say the immediate near future, I feel that there is something there that makes it so far away from being this mainstream approach. And I believe if you're trying to get into VR, Ghost of Tabor is a great way to just understand everything VR. Now, there is some mixed reality, which the hype has slowed down. There's all those stuff, and I say that in our other videos too. But for right now, I think, yes, in all totality, that Ghost of Tabor is the best VR game right now, overall across all platforms. I think they should have won the Steam. Like, the Steam VR Awards was also like a dumbass choice. So they should have won at Steam VR Awards too. So it just never makes sense to me. But again, Steam, across all platforms, if you have it on Steam, PC, VR, wherever you get your games, Ghost of Tabor should always be the choice. It should be the top of the line. It probably has the most active fan base right now. And this is someone that doesn't like no mods, no nothing, bro. I mean, like straight legit. Ghost of Tabor wins it, no question, man. But yeah, y'all let me know what's up. Leave a comment. Leave a just everything, man. I appreciate y'all. For those that have been joining Discord, be hitting us up on our lives. It's been a lot of fun, so I can't wait to see y'all again, man. Peace.